This is a short video to explain and show kind of maybe what's going on with the UVs in your cereal box. Judging by how it looks, I'm going to try to follow the same steps that I think you took and try to replicate what you're trying to achieve. So I'm just going to take a cube and extrude it out to be roughly cereal box size. I'm going to bring it up so it's on top of the plane. And I'm going to get my insert edge loop tool and kind of make some edges so that I can punch out this center part. I'm going to get select my faces, and I'm going to go over to my modeling toolkit and extrude it downward. And I'm going to go into wireframe mode so I can kind of get it into roughly the same dimensions as a box. I'm going to hit Q to stop extruding and go back to object mode. I can go back to regular polygon mode, and I have a box. Now I'm going to try to get an image to be only on this one face here. So I'm actually going to add some extra insert edge loops into the box. So now I have just this middle face here. I'm going to select that face. Go over and get my stylus and select the face. And while I'm at it, I'll select the back face. So I have this face and this face selected. I'm going to go down to my favorite materials, hit Lambert. That's going to give me a new Lambert material. Going over to the Lambert, I'm going to rename this Lambert to box label. Hit enter. Now those two faces are going to be actually I did this backwards. So at first I'm going to select the whole box and hit Lambert. That's going to give me a Lambert texture over the entire box. You can rename this texture like box color. You can give it a color. I'm going to choose bright green. And then after that, you can go in and select the faces and do the material like I just did. But since I already have that material, I can go to assigned existing materials, hit box label, and then that will give me my original color that I had on the box label color. So this will give you an approximate look you're going for. Now we need to assign an image to this box label Lambert, and to do that we're going to go into the UVs and do it through there. So I'm going to go from my classic workspace to my UV editing workspace, and by default it should have something that kind of looks like an upside down T as the UVs, and we don't necessarily need all these UVs. We just need this front one and this back one. So what I will do is I will actually go into my faces, and you can see which UV this face is. So now in my UV editor, I can go right click. So you just need to go in here, hit edges, select all the edges that were around your UV, and in here you can go to the cut tool and cut them. Alternatively, you can hit Shift X within this window here, and it will also cut. Then you can go back to your UVs and double click into the area you want double click the UV that you want to select, and now you can bring it out. All these other UVs I'm going to not deal with for the moment, but I need them to be outside of this space. So I have this UV here. I'm going to do that same thing to the other one. Find the UV with the faces, and then over here in the UV editor, I'm going to go to my edge tool, select all the UVs that make up that edge, Shift X to cut it out, go back to my UVs, double click to select that UV specifically, and then bring it back over here to my first tile for my UVs. Okay, now now that I've got those UVs separated from the rest of the mesh, I will go to the hypershader. And over here I have my box color and my box label. I need my box label. I'm going to click on the little checker box next to the color, and I'm going to click on the file. This will make it so that I'm able to hook a file into the color so that it will show up onto the Lambert. I will go to my image name and try to find where I put my image. There we go. Okay, so that brought that image in, and it's hooked up to my box label. If I turn on my textures, you will see that it sort of does have something that looks sort of close to what we want it to, but it's all at the wrong scale. So the way to fix this is to go back into your UV editor, and you will see that these boxes represent the UVs and where they are. So if you move it around, you can see the part of the UV space that you are showing on your UV or you're displaying. So in order to make this the size that you want it to, go over to your UVs and you can manipulate how big the image is and what you're seeing on it. So I'm just gonna kind of play around with it and get it, both of these, to the size I want them to be so that it kind of covers up what I want it to. And then this one is upside down, so I will just rotate this the other direction, and so that it can be right side up. And then that should kind of get you what you want to. It has a front image and a back image and a kind of a different color for the box itself. If we go into the Arnold render view, right now, oh, that's a very big box. Right now, it won't show anything because we have no lights. So I'm going to just add a physical sky to get us a view of it. And there you go. You can see that the box is one color, it has a label on it, and the label is not see-through and shining through, and it has a back, and you can see it, and everything should be working now. I hope this helps, and let me know if it does, because if not, I'm not exactly sure what's going on.